recap, cutscene, and then we'll get into the session. Today's session is going to be a little bit shorter, but get ready to do some role-playing. Alright. Where we last left off, Beck was being held hostage by Luneth, along with his father and his older sibling. It was revealed, as Beck was being held hostage by Luneth, that the creature that attacked Beck all those years ago and took his limbs is Elwyn's demonic father, Dianar. It was revealed that Dianar is working with Luneth, along with another demon known as Sabrina, who is Ekrai's demonic parent. The three of them have been set out by Onyx for some nefarious task and some nefarious mission. Beck and Luneth squabbled a little bit before Luneth and the other demons decided to let Beck and his family go and plant a seed of doubt inside of Beck. That was when Dianar, using a large, putrid, gross, just disgusting tentacle-like appendage, injected Beck with some sort of liquid that caused him to go into immense pain and basically caused him to seize up and go into shock. While this was all happening, the party was searching for help. The rest of the party were able to go to Darvox, rally some Valterian soldiers to go save Beck, as well as running back into the two nymphs you guys met in the forest of Thenral, Lena and Moon. So, with the two nymphs rejoining the party, as well as a decent-sized Valterian soldier brigade, you guys headed off to go save Beck. As you guys reapproached the cave, you were all ambushed by the demons. Sabrina made quick work of the Valterian soldiers, and the two Valterian elites were quickly vanquished by Dianar, who absorbed them into his body, adding their eyes to his. The demons revealed themselves to be working for some kind of goal that they aren't telling the party yet. And additionally, Dianar and Sabrina revealed that they are going to be interjecting themselves into their children's lives to see if their kids are ready yet for the great plan. So, with that, Luneth and the two other demons let Beck go, taunting the party, and the party brought Beck to a local hag widow named Marley, who was the only person in town who had any chance of making sure Beck didn't fucking die from whatever Dianar injected him with. Marley, who is now my favorite NPC in the entire fucking world of Otax, was able to brew some kind of potion, some kind of mixture that was able to substantially slow down whatever is inside Beck's system. But it is still slowly but surely taking him over. It changed his physical appearance. A portion of Beck's face is now a pale parchment white, and one of his eyes is now a vibrant purple color. The session ended with you all going to Beck's parents' house, his family house, meeting Beck's parents and having a nice family dinner to celebrate Beck and his family's survival and try to alleviate some of the stress that has now been placed upon the party. But it was ended when the next day, dusk arrived, unfortunately informing that since Elwyn and Ekrai's parents have revealed themselves, Elwyn and Ekrai's fates are now tied to whatever those two demons are doing. Because once a demonic parent makes themselves revealed, their children are going to suffer for it. Additionally, Dusk has reason to believe that the demons will be moving against whatever they are doing, and asked for you all to accompany them to Arcania. So, Alisman being needed to guide the Valterians to Arcania, Beck needing to find some sort of cure or some sort of way to stop whatever Dianar has done to him, and Elwyn and Ekrai, unfortunately pulled into a string of webs by their demonic parents, now prepare to make their way to Arcania to try and solve this horrible fate they've all been brought into. But before we get into that, we're going to start off with a cutscene. The scene opens up on what appears to be a remote island. You can see that there appears to be a pirate trembling. They have the symbol of a black rose on their shirt, and you can see they're trembling, and they appear to be looking up at the trees at a figure. The pirate kind of holds up their hands and it's just like, "What do you want from me?" And you watch as multiple arms begin to descend from the trees as the fractured voice of Dianar speaks. "I simply asked you a question, little pirates." Dianar fully drops down from the tree line and kind of walks up closely to the pirate and kind of like brushes one of his fingers against the pirate's face. "I know that you are a higher up in your crew. Is that correct?" The pirate kind of looks a little confused at Dianar and just kind of nods. "I guess you can say I'm close to the captain." "Perfect. Then I simply just have a question for you. You see, I am looking for a little one. One that is guarded by one of the pirate lords. You wouldn't happen to know where I could find such a child, would you?" The pirate kind of shakes his head. "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know what I'm doing here. You see that Dianar kind of looks a little disappointed as he kind of backs away a little bit. "Oh, that is a shame. I was hoping that you would have the answers that I seek, but I guess I can simply just move on to the next one," Dianar says. The pirate opens his mouth to like make a protest, but before that happens, Dianar pounces onto the pirate, and there's just a little before the pirate is completely absorbed into Dianar, and two new pairs of limbs sprout out of Dianar's body, adding to his long centipede-like form, and two new eyes join the black hood. "What a shame. What a shame," Dianar says as he looks out on the ocean. Dianar takes a second, pondering what they should do next, before there is a voice next to him. Dianar looks over, and you can see that Dianar's eyes kind of squint a little bit. The voice is booming and loud, as a gruff voice says, "What the hell are your kind doing here again?" Dianar takes a couple steps forward. The figure that stands in front of them is large, and Dianar kind of bows. "Oh, I see that you've made your appearance again. I must say, I'm quite surprised you would show your face to true agents of Sidar. Come to try and regain your honor, Malakarth." The moonlight shines onto Malakarth, who is just as big and Minotaur-like as ever with his four arms. You can see that he's standing kind of off to the side as he's looking at Dianar. "What the hell are your kind doing back in Edia waters?" Dianar shrugs. Nothing. We are simply doing what is right for the underworld. Something that you have seemed to have forgotten about." Malakarth kind of takes a step forward. And he says, I don't want any demons in these waters. You are to leave Edia. Dianar takes a step back. Unfortunately, Malakarth, I cannot do such a thing, he says. Dianar kind of tilts their head a little bit and says, You look troubled, Malakarth. You know that it's back, don't you? You've heard tales of a new bearer of the green flames. You see that Malakarth's eyes kind of squint a little bit. That's right. Onik has passed the witch's flame down. Lillian was a failure. But Luneth will pick up where she failed. Malakarth kind of, grunts at this. I don't know what it is that you and the other demons are planning. But I know for a fact that you're coming after my daughter and her kids. Malakarth takes another step forward. That girl's already gone through too much. You're going to stop these pursuits, Dianar. Or I'm going to end you like I did 50 years ago. Dianar shrugs multiple of his arms. Maybe you could beat me, Malakarth. Maybe. But I know for a fact you can't beat Luneth. Or Sabrina. And they'll be here soon. So, if you want that little girl of yours to stay safe, you should simply just hand over the child to us. Malakarth shakes his head. You know that's not an option, Dianar. Oh well, it's a shame. I guess you and her are already pretty beat up about the Valterians taking one of the children. Did you know that I know where that child is? At this, Malakarth kind of takes a look back. That's right. I know where little Azur is. Being kept in the city of Darvux by the Dragonfang Dusk. You know, Luneth and Sabrina are already scouting out the situation to find that child. So, I guess I have a question for you, Malakarth. Are you gonna go save the child being taken by the Valterians? Or are you going to leave the other one? Leave the other one vulnerable to me and the others? You have to make a choice, Malakarth. You can't be in two places at once. 2 children to protect, and only one you. Malakarth grunts. I'll ensure that those children stay safe. And besides, Nim and Shava have already beaten 2 demons. I don't see why they can't beat you as well. Dianar begins to walk away from Malakarth and says, Oh yes, the pirates that defeated Sartosa and Lillian. They're powerful. But you're forgetting, Malakarth. Lillian and Sabrina were New Age demons. But we are something much more ancient. Much more ancient indeed. Malakarth just kind of watches as Dianar walks off, and Dianar slowly fades into nothingness. Malakarth just kind of sighs to himself, and he looks up at the stars and he says, Don't worry, Azur. I'm on my way. And he watches he disappears in a giant flash of fire and is gone. Alright, you can all unmute yourselves.
What the?
Oh no, Daddy's coming! Oh no, Daddy's coming.
Daddy's coming!
You better fucking suck some massive dick. Good luck.
Lord, I want him.
Oh,
I want him so bad.
I want him so bad.
I was gonna say, I feel like the majority of this group would be okay with that anyway.
Yeah. Alan's like, alright, I'm gonna save the world, watch.
Alright. Now,
that was wonderfully done, August. Thank you. Thank you. That made me very happy.
But now let's get into your guys' actual session. So, I guess we're gonna open up with this first. It's a little bit of a cutscene, but also you guys will be there. It is currently 2 days after the dinner that you guys all had, and Dusk has called you all to accompany them to Darvox, where the newest Dragon Fang meeting is going to take place. Dusk, since they want you all to be close, has asked for you all to accompany them while the Dragon Fangs have their meeting. And so it is early morning as you're all getting prepared for today's meeting. I guess we're just going to go down the list. Let's start off with Elwyn. Elwyn, what are you doing right now? You're all still at Beck's parents' house. So is there anything in particular you want to do, or anyone in particular you want to talk to?
Elwyn's probably gonna talk to his mom,
Okay.
considering they'll be leaving soon.
Yeah. Kathleen's still there. You can see that she's talking to Tova as you walk over, and Kathleen just kind of turns and she says, "Good morning, son."
Morning, Mama.
So, you had a good sleep?
As good as I can.
Excellent. Well, I was just talking to Tova here, and, we were discussing about the whole moving situation. Valterian said that it will probably be happening in about a month, so I guess my question for you is, are you going to be around for that?
So I kind of have to go on this mission. I don't know how long it's going to be, but you're going to be protected. But you got to promise me that when I come home, you're going to be here.
Oh, Elwyn, Kathleen says, and she kind of walks up and she, ruffles your hair a little bit. You don't have to worry about me, silly boy. I'm more worried about you.
I understand that, but we're dealing with demons, and I don't want anything bad to happen to you while I'm gone.
I'll be fine, Elwyn. I'll be fine. Besides, Tova's here, and she would never let anything bad happen to me. Tova gives, a little smile, and Kathleen looks back and says, Elwyn, I don't know anything about your father, if I can even call him your father. He's more just an evil being that brought you into this world somehow. But just stay safe. Beck's a good boy. Ekrai and Alispin seem like they have good heads on their shoulders. Just try to stay out of trouble this time, okay?
I promise, and I'll do my best to protect Beck as well.
Kathleen smiles at this. Yes, make sure that he is doing well. I can't imagine that he's... Well, I can't imagine what he's feeling right now. Anyways, do you want anything to eat, darling? Any breakfast or anything?
Just a little breakfast before we leave. Settle the stomach a little bit.
Tova nods, and she says, I'm gonna go talk to Beck for a little bit, but Kathleen, you're free to use the pantry to your heart's desire. Kathleen smiles and says, Thank you, Tova. I promise I won't break your kitchen this time. And Kathleen kind of just grabs your arm, Elwyn, and leads you inside the house. Anything else you wish to do, Elwyn?
Not the moment, no.
All right, we're gonna move on to Aliceman. Aliceman.
Can I give Truffle a tarot reading?
Yeah, yes, you can. Aliceman, you have just woken up on the couch, and Truffle is right next to you. And the entire couch is sunken to the left side just because of Truffle's weight. And Truffle kind of stirs awake and just goes, Bleh.
Got the lovers. Gonna find love.
Truffle looks down at it and then tries to take a bite out of the card.
That's all.
Aliceman, you're able to quickly move the card back before Truffle tries to eat your tarot card. And then Truffle just kind of looks at you and just goes, Meh! And then just puts his head back in your lap and then falls back asleep. Anything else you wish to do with your turn, Aliceman? Okay. All right. Then I guess we will move on to Beck.
Hello.
Beck, it's been a rough few days for you. You're currently sitting on the front porch in a chair, Is there anything in particular you're doing right now, or are you just kind of zoning out?
Yeah, he's just spacing.
All right. As you're just kind of staring into the woods, Beck, Tova comes up beside you and she says, "Just wanted to check in how you're doing."
Jumps at this because it snaps him out of his.
Sorry, didn't mean to startle you, son. Just, how are you feeling?
I've felt better, but I guess I'm fine.
No pain or soreness anymore? Beck, the soreness and the pain has dropped substantially. You're still like a little bit sore, but like overall you feel pretty much like yourself, but obviously the physical changes are still there.
I'm still pretty sore, but I'll be fine.
Tova kind of takes a seat next to you and she says, "You're going to be leaving again soon. Feels like you just got back and now you're going to go off again."
Yeah, I know.
Tova kind of looks over at you and she says, "Look, Beck, I know that you're not one for, talking, really, but I could tell that you feel a little weird around Elwyn. Me and his mom were talking last night about it, and I just want you to know that Elwyn cares about you, and he isn't going to let any more harm come to you. I know it's difficult for you to accept those words, but I just wanted to try and instill some amount of relief into you."
I appreciate it, but I don't think Owen and I can be friends. Every time I look at him, I just see the eyes.
Tova looks down and she nods. "I understand, Beck. Well, I hope that while you're away, you can find some way to solve the issue inside of you. But until then, I'm proud of you, son." And she pats you on the shoulder.
Thanks, Mom.
"Well, you should get ready. Dusk said that they want you at the capital of Darvox by this afternoon, so you should get into your armor."
Yeah.
"Love you, son." And she turns around and she walks back inside.
Beck's gonna stand up and head to his room to go grab his armor.
All right. Kathleen finishes making she finishes making breakfast. She's got eggs, she's got bacon, and she goes in and she puts a plate down in front of Elwyn, and she looks over at you, Aliceman, and she just says, "Does the ram eat bacon or eggs?" Alice.
I forgot to unmute.
Oh, no, you're good.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Hold on. I'm sorry. In real life, I don't know anything about rams anymore.
Do
I'm
rams
sorry.
eat eggs and bacon?
I looked that up, but then one of the things that showed up is, do rams lay eggs?
You know what? This is a magical fantasy world. I guess it can just be up to you if Truffle eats eggs and
Yeah,
bacon.
Sure, he can.
Kathleen
He can eat eggs and bacon.
Kathleen walks over and throws 2 pieces of bacon at Truffle, and Truffle eats them. And their eyes are kind of cross-eyed, and they just go, "Orf, orf, Meh. You can see that Kathleen just kind of walks up and she says, "He's quite a lovely beast. Where did you find him?"
Dad gave him to me.
"Oh, he's got an absolutely marvelous coat. I haven't really seen a ram like this before. He seems, well, just kind of different. Almost sparkly, I guess."
We are from a different area, so that might be a part of it.
Fair enough. You know, I guess you see demons one day and then magical rams the next day. Anyways, Kathleen turns around and she says, "I know that you don't eat meat, Aliceman, so I have an apple." And she hands out an apple. Good. Need to make sure that you're all nice and fed for the meeting today. Don't want you guys sitting through long slongs of Valterian dragon fangs mumbling about war efforts on an empty stomach. Alright. Owen, Aliceman, you guys eat your breakfast. Beck, you come out in your Valterian armor. And you can see that Tova and Ivar are kind of talking to at like off to the side in hushed tones. You can see Ivar looks a little angry as he's talking to Tova, and Tova's just kind of like mumbling at him.
Beck's not gonna get involved with that. He's just gonna go ahead and, I guess, wait outside until everybody else is ready.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ekrai, for all intents and purposes, will just be with the party. But I won't really be doing any role-playing stuff with Ekrai. He'll just be there. Imagine him with this little hat on, and he's doing the fancy light things, and he's like, I don't know, talking to Aliceman or something.
Yeah.
Ivar walks up to Elwyn, and he kind of like pats you on the back, and he says, "Hey, Elwyn, would it be all right if we
Yes.
talk for a second?"
Of course.
Right. You can see that Tova kind of shoots Ivar a dirty look, and then Ivar just kind of shrugs and brings Elwyn off to the side. Ivar kind of like takes a deep breath, and then he kind of exhales, and he just goes, "So, you don't know anything about your dad, do you?"
Of course I don't. I didn't meet him until we tried to save Beck.
Ivar kind of nods, and he just looks down, and he just says, "You know, I just worry about my boy, and you know."
Well, I can guarantee you that I would never want anybody like your family or my family hurt. I renounce any kind of fatherly thing with him. I've already told him that I'm doing this to keep Mom safe. And I can promise you that I would never like actively go against anybody or hurt Beck or anything like that. If anything, I'm gonna make sure he doesn't get himself killed out there.
Ivar just kind of like nods, and he says, "Thanks, Owen. I needed to hear those words, but you know, I worry. Just you know, make sure he's safe, and you know,
I mean,
whatever the hell's
you have-
wrong with him, you just try to fix it, please."
I'll try. You have every right to worry. I know he's your son, and you're scared for him, especially with everything that he's lost in his very short life. But we're gonna fix it. I trust Dusk, and I know that Dusk will stay true to his word and keep everyone as safe as possible.
Dusk is good. You know, really someone that you can look up to in the Valterian government. So yes, I put my trust in Dusk, and I put my trust in you. I know Kathleen raised a good kid, so just make sure no ill fate comes to my boy.
Of course. Thank you, sir.
Right. Well, I won't keep you here any longer. You guys are probably already running late as it is, so I'll let you guys get to the capital, or the city.
Thank you. And could you please keep an eye on my mother? I know she says she's tough and she can handle herself, but it's just her. And I want to make sure she's safe.
No, don't worry. Kathleen will be taken care of, both by the Valterians and by Tova.
Yeah, that woman scares me.
She scares me too. Alright. Aliceman, you go ahead and you get up from the couch, and Truffle just kind of like waddles alongside you as you head out. Ekrite also heads out, putting on his hat, and positioning it so it's perfectly perched on his head. And then Elwyn, you also walk out as well. As you all stand in the sun, you guys look around and see that Lena and Moon have not come back from the forest yet. They said that they were going to go off and attend to something real quick, and they would be back by the time that you guys set off for Arcania. But they still haven't returned yet. Is there anything you guys want to say to each other before heading off to Darvox?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, Elwyn's just gonna nod at his mom and Beck's family and say we'll be back.
All right. A large black carriage drives up to you all, and the doors open, and you can see that there's a Valterian elite in there as the escort. And you all get inside, Truffle kind of like squeezing himself in as the door closes, and you're all off to the city of Darvox. You guys arrive in the city, rolling past the industrial districts with all the workers and up onto the plateau where the richer districts are. You guys arrive at the large castle called the Anvil. As the carriage stops, the doors open, and waiting at the front gates, you can see Dusk, flanked by 4 Valterian elites. Dusk looks up and nods at you all, and just kind of like motions for you all to follow them into the castle. As you all enter into the Anvil, just as pristine and beautiful as usual. After walking down a few corridors and past a couple large rooms and studies, you guys finally arrive at a set of large double doors, with a large plaque above that says meeting room. You see that Dusk turns to the Valterian elites and nods, and they all bow, and then move and just kind of stand stationary on either side of the walls, as Dusk looks over at you all. All right, another meeting. Just, please keep your voices down and don't speak out of line. We haven't had a meeting like this in a few months, so. Dusk slowly opens the door, and you all follow. Inside, you can see there are 5 thrones again. This is not the main meeting room like in Dragonhold with the Queen. This is a smaller one just for the city of Darvox. The 5 thrones are made out of this red leather, and you can see each of them has like a black dragon painted on the back. And you can see there's a large table in front of the 5 thrones. And behind you guys can see that there is a smaller throne that is shrouded by these large veils. And you guys can see that there's a figure sitting in the chair behind all the veils, but the fabric is too thick, so you can't truly see who's behind it all. As you all enter, 3 of the 5 thrones are already filled, and Dusk takes their seats on the leftmost throne, only leaving 1 throne empty. Dusk sits down and nods at the other 3 dragon fangs. And Feor speaks. All right, with all of us here, we will now begin this Dragon Fang meeting to discuss the war efforts and new information that has come to our light. Feor says, Feoris first turns and says, "How about you go first, Mallory?" Beck, Aliceman, and Elwyn, you guys are all just kind of standing off to the side. As you guys look around the room, you guys can see lots of Valterian elites. But you guys also notice two other figures in the room. Standing near Ollania is a small dwarf man. He has dark skin, crazy gray hair, and he wears these really thick spectacles on his face. And then standing next to Mallory is a man in purple robes. He looks to be a half-elf with shorter red hair and green eyes. You see that Mallory nods, and he stands up and walks over to the war table and says, "Right. Well, the war effort in Pearlness is going well. We've taken the city of Stone Point and the city of Drossel. From these 2 points, my men can make a clear attack on the city of Pearlness within a month," Malloy says as he kind of moves pieces along the board. Feoris kind of tilts his head and says, "Weren't you supposed to claim the city of Pearlness about a month ago, Mallory?" At this, Mallory's eyes twitch, and his mouth kind of quivers a little bit, and he turns and he just like smiles at Feoris and he says, "Yes, First Dragonfang, but due to certain setbacks that I have experienced, the taking of the Alinor city has been postponed, but I promise you that we will get the job done as soon as possible." Feoris kind of leans back in his chair a little bit and says, "You say that, Mallory, yet your claiming of new territory has been slower than the other Dragonfangs. Vanessa was able to claim 2 major cities in less than a month, but you've only claimed 2 small towns in double that time." Mallory, his eyes quiver again, and he goes, "Let's change the subject. I have another announcement for all of you. Your Majesty," Mallory says as he bows over to the veiled figure behind all the drapes. "Me and my close friend here, Pyre, thank you for your contribution of Agaroth's blood. And I think that you will all be very surprised at what me and him have been able to accomplish with said blood." Mallory shoots Feoris a dirty look. "If you would allow them in, please." At this, the front double doors open up, and you all watch as 5 Valterian soldiers walk into the room, but they are not normal Valterian soldiers. You notice their armor is much more draconic in nature, and they have these large black wings jutting out of their backs. And at first, you all think that they may just be like props, or like just, really special fancy looking armor, or like design, but as they get closer into the torchlight, you notice that these are real dragon wings coming out of the back of these Valterian soldiers. And you can see their eyes, obviously their faces are shrouded in darkness, but their eyes are glowing this very bright, vibrant purple. You see Ollania and Dusk, their eyes raise as they see these soldiers walk in. Mallory turns to the Queen and says, "Your Majesty, me and Pyre have solved a very large problem that the Valterian military has been facing, which is stagnation. The Valterian elites have been proven to be very capable warriors, but we know that to win this war we need something more, and so we have pushed forward the boundaries." Mallory says, "May I introduce to you all the Valterian Ascended. We have taken the blood of Agaroth, infused it with the blood that the Valterian soldier's species is, and upon injecting it, we have evolved them into draconic warriors of Valteria, completely loyal." You see that the Valterian Ascended kind of like take a kneel to the Queen, and you can see Feoris just kind of like claps like, "Must say, Mallory, you and Pyre have outdone yourselves. How many of these Ascended do you have? Mallory looks over at Pyre, and Pyre speaks. I have about 20 of them made, sir, but I can get another 50 out by the end of the month if I can get some more of Agaroth's blood. Feorus kind of tilts his head. It was already a very big request asking for that small amount of dragon blood, and yet you ask for more. I'd say that first we should see the capabilities of these Ascended before we give you any more of our Lord's blood. Pyre nods and says, yes, we can distribute the Ascended to each of the Dragon Fangs equally, and you can all see the efficiency at which they operate. Feorus nods. Is that everything, Mallory? Mallory nods. That is everything. Mallory takes a seat back at the throne, at his throne, and Pyre stands next to him as the Valterian Ascended leave the room. Feorus looks over and says, Dusk, how about you inform us on what you're doing? Dusk nods and stands up and looks over at you all and beckons you all to kind of walk with them towards the table. Dusk walks forward and says, right, well, it should be with great honor and excitement that I announce that I have successfully found the route to the continent of Arcania. Dusk gestures over to Alisman. With this Fey man, we will be able to properly maneuver through the magic, keeping that continent safe, and successfully make dock on the shores. You see that Feorus takes a look at Beck for a second. Beck, you have your Valterian Elite helmet on, but your eye is glowing very brightly. And Feorus appears to have noticed this, and he looks at you for a second, but he doesn't say anything. Anything else, Dusk? Dusk kind of takes a gulp and looks over at Ollania for a second before turning back and looking at the other Dragon Fangs. Yes, sir. It is to my great dismay to announce that new demons have cropped up in the world of Otax. And unfortunately, we have not been able to get them on our side like the previous demons. Ollania takes a look at Ekrai and Elwyn with kind of a knowing look. And then she looks back at Dusk and she says, is one of them Sabrina? Dusk looks over at Ollania and just kind of gently nods. Yes, Sabrina was one of them, but there are two more. The Demon of Beasts, as she is known now, Luneth, and the Demon of Eyes, Dianar, have also made themselves revealed to Otax. Feorus takes another, kind of lays back in his throne and just kind of sinks into it and says, well, that is an interesting discovery. What do you know about these demons and what are they doing? Dusk just kind of shrugs. I'm not sure yet, sir, but it appears that they are interfering with Valterian missions in some way, and they are also seeking out their children, which is why I've brought these two along with me. Dusk gestures over to Ekrai and Elwyn. I see. Feor stands up. You, purple tiefling, come forward, please.
Elwyn's gonna nod and walk forward.
Right? Do you just stand in front of Feorus?
Not directly. Like
Okay.
a few steps back, but.
All right. Feorus looks over at you, Elwyn, and Elwyn, he's not doing anything, he's not saying anything, but just like you can't look him in the eyes, because if you do, you feel like this crushing weight, like, slam onto your shoulders out of nowhere. It's like your body seizes up if you try to make eye contact with him. Phaeorus looks at you, Elwyn, and says, "You're going to bow, correct?" Dusk looks over at you, Elwyn, and just is kind of like, "Bow."
Elwyn's gonna give Dusk a look, saying you owe me, and half-ass bow.
You see that Mallory and Ollania kind of roll their eyes at this, and Phaeorus just says, "Good. Starting to think that the commoners have lost proper manners. Now then, what was your name again?"
Elwyn.
Elwyn, I see. And you are the child of Dianar, is that correct?
Reluctantly.
Well, if the demons are working against us, as Dusk has said, and Dusk kind of like chokes on this, and they're kind of like, I guess? Phaeorus looks at Elwyn and says, "If that is to be true, then your kind, as well as Sabrina's kind," Phaeorus looks over at Ollania and Akrai, "appear to be putting us into danger's way, jeopardizing Valteria's mission. Demons are powerful." I wasn't done speaking. Tieflings have proven themselves to be quite troublesome in the past of Valteria, as well as demons. So I guess all I have to simply ask of you and Ekrai is what you plan to do about it.
I plan to do what's best for my family and make sure that you people don't decide that it's best to exclude a certain race just because we're a certain race.
You can see that Ollania is just shooting Phaeorus like the meanest fucking look. You know, her eye patch is kind of like scrunching under how much she's like hatefully looking over at Phaeorus. Right, of course. All races are equal under the sun of Elena, Phaeorus says. But, that being said, your kind are offspring of dangerous individuals that have proven time and time again to be a thorn in Valteria's side. With that being said, Dusk, you are to keep a close eye on both Ekrai and Elwyn. And if they are to do anything that would hinder Valteria rule, you are to execute both of them. Do I make myself clear, second Dragon Fang? Dusk nods and says, "Of course, sir. Jeopardizing the mission of Valteria is punishable by death." Swear on it. Dusk puts their hand across their chest and says, "If Ekrai and Elwyn do anything that jeopardize Valteria rule or our mission, I will execute them both immediately." Phaeorus nods. "You're dismissed, Tiefling. You can go back over to the second Dragon Fang."
Elwyn's gonna blow him a kiss as he walks away.
"Charmed," Phaeorus says as he sits back down on the throne. You can see Mallory and Pyre are both like kind of like googly-eyed looking over at Ekrai and Elwyn, like very uncomfortable. Like they're very wide-eyed looking at both of you. And like Pyre kind of like bends down and like whispers something into Mallory's ear, and Mallory smiles a little bit at this. Phaeorus speaks, "Very well, Dusk. Anything else you wish to share?" "No, sir." "Then you are free to sit down. Ollania, you will now present what you have done." Ollania takes a deep breath. "Yes, sir." Ollania stands up and walks forward. "We have successfully made multiple encampments in the continent of Durandar. My people are moving to take the closest city belonging to the Stormhammer Empire. Additionally, I have found one of the stone keys of the Dwarven strongholds. she says. She gestures over to the little dwarf, who appears to have dozed off a little bit. And she kind of just, like, speaks loudly. Gorok here. And at this, the little dwarf named Gorok goes... Gorok has, thankfully, assisted in us finding one of the first stone keys. From my research, there are apparently 4 stone keys to access the dwarven cities. We have 1, and we will be diving into it as soon as possible. Feoris nods. So, you have set up route in Durandar, hoping to take one of the Stormhammer cities, but you have not yet. And you have found a stone key to a dwarven stronghold. A throng. Is that correct? Ollania nods. Yes, sir. That is all. Feoris leans back and says, well, that's a little bit of a disappointment. You've barely made any progress. At this, Ollania just kind of, like, takes another deep breath. I'm sorry, sir. I am doing the best I can, but unfortunately, the cold, icy weather of Durandar has proven to be more of a hindrance to my men than I thought it would be. We have taken necessary precautions to make sure no one suffers from frostbite, because I value my soldiers' lives to not be lost to the cold. Feoris says, that's a waste of time, Ollania. We can simply replace your soldiers with new ones. There's no point in worrying over throwaways. At this, Ollania just kind of looks down for a second, and she's like, yes, sir, I understand, but since I am the 3rd Dragon Fang, and I rule over the 3rd Black Legion, then it is up to me how I treat my soldiers, correct? Feoris nods and says, correct. Thank you. Then I will continue to make sure my soldiers' interests are first. Feoris says, anything else you have for me, Ollania? No, sir. That is everything. Ollania goes and she sits back down in the throne. Feoris stands up. Well, I would say this has been a successful meeting. Feoris turns to the queen, and before he speaks, Mallory speaks up and says, what have you done, Feoris? Mallory says. Feoris looks over at Mallory, and Mallory just kind of looks up with him with a sneer. Do you mind repeating yourself, 4th Dragon Fang? Mallory kind of shrugs. Well, it's just, me and my colleagues here, Dusk and Ollania, have put in a lot of effort, over this past month, you know. Me and Pyre have made the Ascended. Dusk has found Arcania. Ollania has set up route in Durandar and has found a key to ancient civilization. And, well, what about you? Feoris turns around and says, my missions are of the utmost secrecy, Mallory, and are only to be discussed with me and the Queen. Mallory kind of shrugs and says, you know, you say that, Feoris, but I don't really think you've done anything in this past month. I think you've just been sitting on your ass playing as the Queen's little bodyguard. At this, you can see Dusk and Ollania's faces kind of drop a little bit, and Ollania kind of, like, moves her body away so that way she's not as close to Feoris and Mallory. At this, Feoris just says, you're speaking out of tongue, Mallory. Has something changed in your mind that makes you think you can talk to me this way? Mallory at this stands up and says, well, actually, yes, Feoris. I have founded the next generation of Valterian soldiers. I have claimed one of the God Champions' magic. Frankly, I think I deserve to rise to the ranks. I think I should be the 2nd or 3rd Dragon Fang. Feoris kind of looks over at the other two and says, you think you should be the 2nd or 3rd Dragon Fang? Mallory nods. Yeah, I think I should. I think I've come a long, long way, and I only have more power to gain once I get the other god champions. The other god champions that you let slip away in Vandrel. I heard about that, you know. Mallory kind of sneers and says, "It was a slight oversight, sir. But I am simply requesting that I move up the ranks as number 3 or number 2. Phaoris looks over. Well, the only way that a Dragon Fang can rise through the number ranks is by beating another Dragon Fang of a higher rank. Dusk kind of takes a deep sigh and goes, "Yes, sir. Mallory is issuing a challenge for your rank. Do you wish to defend it?" Dusk speaks and says, "I wish to defend my title as the second Dragon Fang." Phaoris looks over at the Queen and says, "Does the Queen acknowledge this?" The Queen just sits there stationary, but something appears to click in Phaoris' mind as he turns around. "Very well. Dusk, you are free to bring your tieflings, Fae, and little purple-eyed boy along. Ollania, you're also allowed to accompany us with Gorok. Paya, you're also welcomed. Let us head to the combat stage." As you all get up and begin to walk out to the combat stage, Ollania walks over to you all, and she says, "Do you four have a minute while we're doing this?"
Sure. I don't see why not. Although I'm looking forward to watching, the show. This will be good.
Same. We can talk and walk. I just wanted to ask you all a few questions. Ollania walks alongside you all and she says, well, as you can guess by my horns, I'm also a tiefling, and so I just would like to know a little more about what happens, if you all don't mind telling me.
What happens?
Just, I know that Sabrina is among the demons. If you guys could just tell me anything about her, or what she looks like, or anything like that, that would be appreciated.
Well, I wish we'd have more information for you, but she wore this weird mask thing. She's an asshole, I tell you that.
I figured. Also, sorry, is it Beck?
Yes, ma'am.
If you do not wish to, you do not have to, but would you mind removing your helmet for just a second?
Beck, reluctantly takes off his helmet and looks up at her.
Ollania, you can see that she has actual, pity in her eyes as she looks at you. And she just kind of nods and says, "I see. So the demons are interfering with mortals again. Look, I don't really have a lot of experience with demons either. I saw Mother once to gain my infernal art, and then that was it. Didn't see her since. Back then she was a large rat, but I guess she's changed her form somewhat.
It's Minnie now.
Well, that's fun. I know that Dusk wishes to take you all to Arcania. If I wasn't stationed in Durandar, I would ask if I could accompany you all, but unfortunately the Queen has stationed me in Stormhammer territory. But, if you guys could maybe stay in contact, that would be nice, just for my own sanity.
If we see her, we'll kick her ass for you, that's for sure.
Well, don't kick her ass too hard. I kind of want a little bit of payback as well, Ollania says, and she smiles, and she shows her razor-sharp demon teeth.
Of course, we'll bring her to you. That is if we see her.
Right. And at this, you see Ollania sees Truffle, and you see that her eyes kind of lighten up a little bit as she kind of, like, walks over, and she just goes, excuse me, what kind of breed of ram is that?
No idea.
Ollania just kind of looks at him for a second, and she just says, can I pet him?
I'll let you.
Ollania, her entire body language has changed from like a stone hard dragon fang, and she just kind of kneels down and she pets Truffle, and Truffle just goes, "Bleh."
Oh.
And you can see Ollania smiles as she pets the ram, and she says, "Thanks. I haven't been able to work with animals ever since I became a Valtarian, so the small moments I do get with animals, I try to cherish," she says as she gets up and pats Truffle's head. She looks over at all of you and says, right, we're kind of tailing behind. Let's keep up.
Anyone want to make a bet on who will win?
Sure. Who do you think's going to win?
Dusk.
The one that's not Dusk, I forgot her name.
Mallory.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's make a little friendly wager. I will put 20 gold on Dusk.
I don't think I have that much. Hold on. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll put 20 as well.
All right.
Good.
Any of the rest of you want to get in on this?
I'd put against for Dusk as well.
All right.
They're kind of a dick sometimes, but I've seen them fight. They're pretty strong.
They are pretty strong, Ollania says. I still haven't been able to land a blow on them, but I guess Mallory's feeling pretty confident today.
Cocky bastard's gonna get his ass handed to him.
You all enter into this large arena area. You can see it's kind of like the main hall, but you can see it's been cleared out a little bit to make room for the two dragon fangs. And you can see Feoris just kind of stands there. Ollania stands beside him, and the rest of you stand next to Ollania. And you can see Dusk and Mallory both jump off the balcony and land like superhero landing in the little arena that they've made in the grand entrance hall. You can see Feoris announces, and he says, right, today, the fourth Dragon Fang, Mallory Thorn, will be facing off against the second Dragon Fang, simply known as Dusk. Dusk and Mallory both look at each other. Mallory has a grin on his face. Dusk is just like deadpan, just like staring at Mallory. Feoris says, if either of you wish to back out, now is the time. Everything is free reign, but you will not take each other's life or the lives of anyone else spectating this duel. Both Mallory and Dusk both bow to each other, and Feoris says, very well. Begin the duel. Immediately, Mallory sends out these dark black shadows across the floor that like jut up as large spikes, trying to get Dusk. But Dusk, in like the blink of an eye, just disappears from Mallory's vision. Mallory just goes, damn! And you see that he gestures his hands up, creating a large shield made out of wind, as Dusk like teleports behind Mallory, summoning their large iron sword that they make out of all these different metal fragments, and slams it into the shield. At this, you can see Mallory takes a step back and then tries to knock Dusk against the wall with a large blast of air, but Dusk just teleports out of the way again, and immediately moves to the side, and then using the pummel of their blade, just like clocks Mallory right across the cheek, and Mallory's thrown across the room. You can see Ollania just goes, "Ooh, good hit." Mallory kind of stands up and he like spits blood out, and he just goes, "God fucking damn it, Dusk, you and your bullshit. Fine, if you want to play those games, I can play those games too." And he watches Mallory bites his thumb, and he snaps his fingers, and you guys watch as a large blood wolf materializes next to Mallory, and Mallory says, "Fetch, boy." And you watch as the large blood wolf charges forward and tries to take a bite out of Dusk, but Dusk just like leaps over the blood wolf directly at Mallory. Mallory responds with another large blast of wind, but Dusk just teleports out of the way. Mallory yells, "Guard!" And the dog immediately jumps back and kind of circles Mallory in a guarding fashion. Dusk tries to strike out again, but the dog is able to block Dusk, and the dog grabs onto Dusk's gauntlet and throws Dusk against the wall. You can see that Mallory sneers at this and just kind of looks up to Feoris with like a cocky expression. Dusk gets up, brushes themselves off, and you can see that for a split second, they just stare forward before, like a sonic boom, Dusk just moves at lightning fast speeds and immediately slices their entire blade to the blood wolf, completely splitting it in half and dispelling it. You see that Mallory again tries to summon another wall of wind that blocks the blade once more. The duel continues, and you can see Ollania kind of turns to Feoris and says, "You know, he has gotten better. He's definitely much quicker, and that new god magic appears to be doing wonders for him." Feoris just kind of sneers at this, and he just says, "Yes." Or sorry, not Mallory. Feoris sneers at this and just goes, "Yes, Mallory has definitely gotten faster. And it appears that their wind shields are quite effective, but you can see that Mallory appears to be on the back foot, and Feoris just kind of turns to all of you and says, "Mallory may be strong, but there's a reason why Dusk is the second Dragon Fang." You watch as Mallory goes to block Dusk, but Dusk appears to dematerialize again from their quick, like lightning fast speed, and they're moving so fast that there's an after image that's just dancing all around Mallory, who's like looking left and right trying to figure out which after image is actually Dusk. And Mallory thinks he finds it. He sends out a blast of wind, and at this, Dusk just comes right under Mallory, and using the pummel of their blade just uppercuts Mallory completely with the metal pummel. And Mallory does like a backflip from the impact that Dusk hit them with, and Mallory just face plants head first into the floor. And you can see Mallory kind of like tries to get up, and then Dusk just like takes their foot and just like presses it on Mallory's back and points their blade at Mallory's throat and says, "Game over, Mallory. I win." Feoris just kind of claps at this and says, "Well, looks like Dusk remains the second Dragon Fang." You can see that Ollania looks over at you, Aliceman, and says, "Guess it's time to cough up."
You lost.
Hands over the coins.
Aliceman, you hand the coins over to Ollania, but she just kind of smiles at you, and she just kind of like pushes the coins back. "I was kidding, man. Keep the money for yourself. You're gonna need it more than me."
I love her.
I love her so
You can see Dusk teleports back up to the balcony with their lightning fast speed. And Ollania turns to Dusk and says, "You know, I haven't seen you move that fast in quite a while. Mallory giving you a run for your money?" Dusk, for the first time that you've ever seen them, cracks like a slight smile at this and just kind of shrugs and says,
Oh.
"I wanted to show off a little bit." Mallory, you guys immediately hear Mallory hit the ground and say, "Fuck!" as he gets up and he just goes, "Hmm." as he stares up at Dusk with like this very hateful, jealous look. And Dusk just kind of like looks kind of pitifully over at Mallory, and they just kind of sigh to themselves and just say, "Are we done here, Feoris?" Feoris nods. At this point, the Dragonfang meeting is now finished. You and your soldiers may leave. Dusk nods and turns to the rest of you and says, "Let's go." As you guys walk away, you can hear Mallory shouting about something in the background, but you guys are too far away to clearly hear what they're shouting about. As you guys are walking through the anvil, Dusk turns to you all and says, "Right, we're going to be leaving for Arcania tomorrow. If there's any supplies or people you wish to speak to, I would get it done tonight. We're going to be leaving as early as possible tomorrow." Dusk turns to you, Aliceman, and says, "I trust you, Aliceman, but if you could stick with me for the day, I would appreciate it."
Fine.
Right. Dusk looks over at Truffle and just says, your ram's looking a little bit matte. I could take them to the groomer for you if you want.
Oh my god, Ram makeover?
Right. I know that I've haven't been the kindest to you over the past few weeks, so maybe I can make it up to you somehow. Dusk looks over at the rest of you and says, "Do any of you wish to accompany us, or are you off to go
Sure,
get
I'll
supplies?"
I'll come and then I'll go get my supplies.
I'm gonna just go get supplies.
All right. We'll start off with Elwyn, Aliceman, and Dusk. Dusk leads the two of you and Truffle over to a very, very nice part of the Rich District. And you guys can see that there's this very large kind of bathhouse that multiple people are walking in and out of. As you guys approach, you guys can see all of the patrons kind of like gawk and gasp as Dusk kind of walks in, and Dusk just kind of like keeps their head down and just is kind of just like, "Keep walking," as you guys enter into the bathhouse. As you guys enter inside, it is very warm, lots of steam everywhere. You can see there are tons of people just soaking, having a good old time. And you guys can see that at the counter is a little halfling woman that appears to just be like filing through tons and tons of cash. You can see that Dusk looks over at you two and says, "Right, follow me. Just don't ask her anything or she won't stop talking," Dusk says. Dusk walks up, and you can see the little halfling woman looks up. She looks very, she looks like a twig. She's very skinny. She, looks almost skeletal in nature, but she isn't she looks healthy. She has full skin. She's just very stick-like. She has really, really long red hair that goes past her legs and down to her feet. And she's wearing these very large, thick golden glasses that make her eyes look really big and bug-eyed. You can see that the halfling looks up, and she goes, "Well, well, well, if it isn't my favorite Dragonfang," she says, as she kind of leans up against the counter. "What can I do for you, honey Dusk?" Dusk just kind of sighs and says, "Hello, Wendy. I'm here to request a grooming for an animal." You see that Wendy looks down at the ram and says, "Oh, didn't think that you were one to take care of the animals, Dusky Wusky. It's not mine. It's this man's here's." And Dusk gestures over to Aliceman. "Oh, haven't seen a fae before, especially one so tiny and cute. What's your name?" "Aliceman, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Wendy." She extends a long hand out to you.
like shakes it, but like barely touches it.
Right. So you want to get this little ram all nice and razzled up for the day. I can definitely do that for you. But it's gonna cost ya. Dusk just kind of like nods and says, yep, how much? Wendy just goes, well, usually for my services it would be 15 gold, but since he's just such a little cutie, and since the rest of you are a bunch of little cuties, she looks over at Elwyn, Allison, and Dusk, I think I can drop the price down to 10 gold. Dusk just nods and reaches into their pocket and then just puts 10 gold on the table. And Wendy just says, perfect! If you could all follow me, little darlings, I'll lead you guys right to the spot.
Elwyn's gonna try to contain a laugh as he follows Dusk.
As you guys are all walking to the trimming room, Wendy looks up and says, my little tiefling, you got quite lovely hair, don't you think?
I think so, thanks. I appreciate it.
It's a very, very nice color. You should let me give you a haircut.
Actually, my mom only cuts my hair. I'm trying to grow it out for a little bit.
Oh, but you'd look so splendid with a nice little trim there and a trim there. You'd be looking real dapper for the ladies.
We're about to go on a top secret mission. Fortunately, there's no real lookers other than just a couple of us. So I think I'm good for now. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. I think Dusk might want a haircut, though.
Dusk, shoots you a dirty-ass look, Elwyn. And Wendy says, oh, really? Dusk hasn't let me cut their hair since they were just a little thing. You know, I've known Dusk and their family for quite a while. Well, used to, Wendy says. And Dusk just kind of says, I don't need a haircut, Wendy. I'm just fine. You know, Dusk was the cutest little baby. They used to wander around with this little watermelon that they carried around, and they called it their best friend. You see that?
Oh, how sweet!
Dusk puts their hands, puts their face in their hands, and Wendy's like, that's very, very true. You know, Elwyn. I can tell that you got a really good mom. I can tell when a man has a good mom.
Well, thank you. She raised me right.
That's true. I can also tell that Aliceman. She looks over at Aliceman for a second and says, best not say. And she turns back. Alrighty. We can put you all in this room. Wendy opens the door and lets you all in. Alrighty. So, tell me, little Fey boy, do you know what kind of species this ram is?
Nope.
Well, he's quite exotic if you ask me. I mean, I haven't seen wool this sparkly in forever. He's got this fancy little moon pattern right here, and these horns are absolutely pristine. Not a single scratch or blemish on them. You see that Truffle looks a little bit flattered at this, and Truffle just goes, "Bah." Wendy just pats him on the head and just goes, well, let me see if I can try and figure out what kind of species this beautiful boy is. And she takes a large book from the side of the room and she just kind of puts it on the table. You know, this book is quite expensive. It's got every single known animal and, well, let me tell you. So, let me see. Try rams. Oh! My, Aliceman, you seem to have gotten yourself quite the rare species indeed. Do you know how you came across this man, this little boy?
Dad gave him to me.
Well, your dad has perfect taste in animals, because this right here is a Tavares wool ram. They're said to be blessed by the moon god himself, given the little symbol on the side of their wool. They are, well, I thought they were extinct, but I guess not, because there's one standing right in front of me, Wendy says as she gestures over at Truffle. Aliceman, what you have here may be a one-of-a-kind. A Tavares wool ram? Well, they haven't been seen in thousands of years.
Someone might have to make sure we don't get kidnapped again.
Yes, someone could probably sell him for a lot of gold. A lot of gold. So much gold it'd probably even top some of those pirate bounties I've been seeing recently. She says, all right, let's get to work. And you see that she grabs a large pair of shears and some soap, and she says, all right, how about I tell you guys all about Baby Dusk while I go ahead and clean up Truffle.
Oh, please do.
You can see Dusk just kind of like bites their lip, and it's just like, I don't think that's necessary, Wendy.
I think it's very necessary.
Oh.
I'm about little Dusk.
Let me tell you guys all about it. You see, Dusk was just the cutest little thing. You see, I used to know their mom before their mom left, but they were just so cute, and they had these big eyes, and oh my god, and they carried around this little watermelon friend all the time, and they cried so much. You can see Dusk is just super uncomfortable. He's just kind of like leaning up against the wall, just like waiting for this to be over. Oh, yeah. And and I think the cutest thing is when they brought home their little girlfriend one day. At this, Dusk raises their hand and just goes, Wendy, if you could please not talk about her, I would appreciate that. Wendy kind of stops and looks over and says, oh, did, something happen to her? Dusk just kind of says, yeah, more or less. If you could just maybe not speak about her, that would be preferable. Wendy shrugs and says, suit yourself. She was quite a beautiful woman, though. Quite a beautiful woman indeed. Dusk just kind of nods and says, she is. You can see that Truffle's getting bathed. There's like shampoo in his hair. Wendy's just going ahead and giving him a good old clean, and then she starts to shear off his excess wool and brush his hair. Turns over and says, so, tell me, Aliceman, you're a fae, correct?
Correct.
So tell me, did you come from Arcania, or were you born outside of the continent?
We came from Arcania to sell goods.
Oh, a little salesman, is that true? Well, unfortunately, the Valterians have a stranglehold on the stock market, so, unfortunately, selling goods here is a little bit of a hassle, but I think you can do it. Anyways, what you into? You into sewing or knitting or anything like that?
Let's play cards.
You like tarot cards? You know, my mom used to have tarot cards, but I lost them. Apparently that's bad luck or something. But you know what? I haven't seen anything, so I think it's just a bunch of bogus. Ah. So tell me, Elwyn, who is this lovely mother of yours?
Oh, she works in a tavern, a little out of town, but she raised me on her own, and she's a wonderful cook.
Oh, that sounds just sweet indeed. Oh, that's very, very nice. I haven't seen my mom in 5 years because she's dead.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, it was a horrible pig accident. Halflings are quite small. So, she was very small. Drowned in the pig's trough. Quite a horrendous thing.
That's horrible.
She was a little bit of a bitch. I don't miss her that much. Anyways, Truffle's looking nice and good. Let me go ahead and dry him off for you. Wendy goes ahead and she takes a large towel and starts to dry off Truffle. And Truffle is just looking real cute. He's like he's just like standing all cutely and like he's got his head up high and he's like meh. Wendy has made the moon symbol on his side really pop out and stand out. And his fur is even more, or his wool is even more sparkly than it was before. Just looking really, really pretty. You can see Wendy turns around and says, "All right, Haven. So I got that 10 gold. It's Dusk. Oh, sorry. Right, Dusk. Gotcha." Dusk looks over at the others and says, "All right, we good to go?"
After you are.
All right. Dusk stands up and says, "Thank you, Wendy, for everything. We'll be going now. Hope to see you again soon, Dusk. You know I miss ya." "Yes, yes." Dusk goes ahead and leads you all out of the bathhouse as Wendy waves you all goodbye, and she says, "Goodbye, you three. Hope to see you all again soon. Especially you, Elwyn," she says, and she gives you a wink.
He's gonna awkwardly wave and then follow Dusk out.
Dusk goes ahead and sighs and says, "Sorry about her. She's a sweet woman. She's just a little much sometimes."
There's a couple in every family.
Well, I can't hate her too much. She did help raise me, so I try to visit her as much as I can.
Well, that's actually very sweet of you, Dusk.
Yeah. Yeah. They say, as they continue to walk down the street, and they turn to you two and say, "Look, you don't have to tell Mari, or sorry, not fuck, Beck. Wrong campaign. You don't have to tell Beck, or the others, but I've been trying to find a way to not use the child at all. I don't know. It's just hasn't felt right since I took that kid. And after seeing you and your mom and Beck and his family, I don't know. I feel like I should give the kid back, but I don't know if I can yet."
Elwyn's gonna place his hand on her shoulder and be like, "Look, it's a hard decision, and you were obviously had a lot of trouble as a kid, but if you do what's right, it's the best you can do, basically.
Well,
And I appreciate you actually caring and not wanting to harm the kid, because it is just a kid. It's not even a kid yet. It's just an infant."
Dusk nods and says, "Yeah, no harm will come to the baby. I just need them to just get one thing done. Just one thing, and then I can give them back to their parents, and then I don't have to think about it ever again."
Well, I'm sure you're doing this for what you think is the best reason, especially if you're willing to go through all this. But I would just make sure that no matter what, you're not losing your sanity and doing all of this. And make sure you're doing everything for the right reason. Trust me, regret is something that you don't want to have.
Dusk looks over at you, Elwyn, and it's just like, "I live with a lot of regret, Elwyn. I don't really think I can go through much more. But, I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life, but I feel like this is the one thing I can do to try and levy some of my sins." Yeah. And Dusk mutters under their breath, "At least for her."
Elwyn's gonna go ahead and pat them on the shoulder and say, "You're doing the best you can, and that's what I'm sure that your girlfriend would want."
Dusk looks over at you, Elwyn, at you saying girlfriend, and you see they're a little red in the face, and they just go, "Right, girlfriend, yeah." Dusk walks over to the anvil and says, "Right, I'm going to get everything ready, get the troops we need, the ships we need, and ensure the baby is kept safe while we travel. You two should probably go back to Lumun and regroup with Beck and Ekrai."
Hey, Captain. Let me know if you need any help with the baby.
"I'll be fine. Just be here at the crack of dawn tomorrow. leave as soon as the sun begins to rise.
Ellen's gonna nod and pat Osmond's head and be like, "Okay, are you coming with me to?"
Oh,
Oh no!
oh.
And
This campaign without some kind of technical difficulty.
I know. Aliceman, we can't hear you. We can't.
oh no!
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yes, we
There
can
we
hear you
go.
now.
Okay, sorry, I'm further away from the computer because my cat's on me.
Oh, no, you're good.
But
You're
I
good.
had to leave for a second because I couldn't hear Elwyn, so could you repeat what you said?
Ellen just patted Osmond on the head and said, "Are you gonna come with me?
I guess so.
Come on, let's go make sure Beck's not doing what Beck does best and get in trouble."
Dusk nods and says, yeah, make sure that boy stays out of trouble. I think he's gone through enough. Dusk nods at
He
both of you and turns around and begins to walk into the anvil. All right. Now we're going to go over to Dusk. Not Dusk, Beck. Now we're going to go over to Beck.
Hello.
Beck, what are you currently doing right now?
I want to get supplies.
All right. What in particular? Are you looking for weapons, armor, potions, food, dildos?
I want to go to a blacksmith.
All right. You go over. There's plenty of blacksmiths, but you go to the bougiest, richest blacksmith. You know, with your big fancy title now. And as you walk in through the front doors, you can see a half-orc woman just kind of hammering away at a sword. And she looks up and she says, "Oh, pleasure, sir. What can I help you with?"
What is your what are your most powerful weapons you have here?
Well, that depends. Are you looking for something magical or?
Yeah, magical would be fine.
Right. Well, sir, if you follow me, I can show you. They're locked up, though, so no one steals them. I've had a lot of thieves lately.
Understood.
The half-orc woman leads you to the back, and she opens this large chained iron door and opens it up to show some very, very fancy and expensive-looking gear behind it. Right, so are you looking for something large and brutish or something a little bit lighter and quicker?
Lighter and quicker.
Lighter and quicker, all right, well, I just got this crafted about a month or two ago. Worked with a tiefling. They infused a little bit of their magic into it, and, well, here it is. She unfurls the long sword, and it is beautifully crafted, and the blade has this, like, slight bluish tint to it. And it's got, like, a grayish blue tint, and it almost looks ethereal in a way. Like you feel like you can almost look through the blade, but, like, not really.
What does it do?
Right, so the tiefling I worked with, he was a nice man. He was a child of Hatham. Apparently, Hatham's tieflings are able to infuse objects with their magic. And so, after paying him a sizable fine, we were able to craft this longsword. So, what this sword is able to do, well, it's able to do two things. Firstly, you can make it go completely invisible, she says as she picks it up and has it vanish. Now, it's still there, and she goes ahead and she, like, hits the dummy next to her, and even though the blade's invisible, there's still, like, contact and a slice, and it, like, slices razor sharp through a bit of the dummy. So, that's its first use. Very good if you want to appear like you're not holding a weapon when you actually are. Second thing it can do, and I've only tried this twice, It worked one time, it didn't work the second time. I believe it's just because I haven't mastered this blade, but if you give it enough practice, maybe you'll be able to do it too. Let's see, how do I demonstrate this? She goes in and she grabs a wooden shield that she's just kind of been haphazardly working on, and she puts it on the dummy. If you're able to concentrate hard enough and strike armor just right, the blade will do this. And you watch as she plunges the sword into the shield, and you watch as the blade phases completely through the shield and just makes contact with the dummy.
Ooh.
It can bypass armor, but exactly the proper technique or method, I'm not sure. It may take a little bit of time to master it, but if you do, you can cut through an enemy without coming into contact with any of their armor.
Interesting.
So,
How much are you asking for it?
well, normally this would be very expensive, probably around 300 to 400 gold, but since of your ranking, sir, I can drop it down to 200.
Beck smiles. I'll take it.
Of course. She goes ahead and she wraps it up for you. She puts it in a really nice sheath. She puts it in a black sheath with the Valterian symbol like ingrained in it, and it has like silver lining. And she goes in and she wraps it up and she hands it to you. A weapon fit for someone of your ranking, sir.
Thank you.
Right. If there's anything else you need, just feel free to ask.
Thank you, man. Beck's gonna take the sword.
All right. So I will text you what it is, Beck, in a second once we get done with your turn. All right.
Yes.
So, but that being said, anything else you want to do, Beck?
Let me see. I guess. Wait, let me check something real quick. Let's go to an alchemist.
Okay. You go to the same alchemist you went to at the beginning of the campaign to get your polyjuice potion. Your polymorph potion. Polyjuice. Same thing, basically. As you walk in, I forget what the NPC was. I think it was a really sleepy-looking drow woman. But I'm too lazy to go check VOD, so we're just going to say it's a sleepy-looking drow woman, because I'm pretty sure that's who it was. The door opens, and she looks up at you, kind of half falling asleep, and she goes, "Oh, you're back!" And she notices the new silver symbol on your armor, and she says, "You're back, sir."
Yes, ma'am. I did promise you that I would come back and tell you how the potion worked.
So how'd it go?
It worked. I did not explode.
Oh, perfect. That means that me and my husband were right about the concoction, and we won't accidentally kill people, so now we can actually push it out as a product. Sorry, thank you for testing that, sir. I appreciate it.
It's no problem. I need to get some healing potions.
Right, well, you're just in luck because we got a fresh stock of those, actually, and not too many people have dropped by to get them. I have 2 greater healing potions and 3 lesser healing potions.
I'll take 2 of the lesser healing potions.
Alrighty, with your discount, that will be 40 gold.
Okay. Beck hands her the gold.
Alright, anything else you're looking for or in need of for your adventure?
That's gonna be all.
Perfect. Right, well, thank you for testing the product. I highly appreciate it. Next time you come back, we'll have those polymorphing potions on sale at the front table.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
She nods, and she goes back to falling asleep.
Okay. I think I might be good. I think that will be it for my turn.
Alrighty, then we are going to take 5, do a bathroom break, and then we will get back into the session. So everyone take a 5-minute break, and then we'll pick up after that.
Right.
Bro, good shit.
We gotta save this. We gotta.
You're
Save
me.
my son. What do you mean?
They're just a baby. We gotta save Dust.
I love it. Dusk is like the perfect person to reform. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys get a second level dragon fang on our side, listen.
Listen.
That would be so good for the cause. Oh my god, Lou, that is beautiful. Guys, it's our DM. It's our
Oh my
one of
God.
It's me, August. Piss boy. You know what I've been drawing this whole time?
What?
Mommy MILF Aria in a bathing suit because it's a.
Oh my god, can you show me? Send it to me, please.
I want to see.
You know how much I love that woman.
Hold on, almost done. It's almost done. When it is, I'll show you guys.
Listen, she's just like the sweetest thing. I love Arya.
Oh yeah, I fucking.
Wanted to be a
milked her out.
mom. She has children. She's a MILF.
She is indeed a
She's still very much 100% a MILF.
yeah,
Okay.
For sure.
quite literally a milk.
Quite literally.
I've
Listen,
returned.
we've got a couple of MILFs and DILFs in this campaign, and like in OTAX already.
Oh no! As soon
I'm
as I
sorry.
heard Alakoth and my daddy,
No, because I was screaming as soon as he came in. I was like, "My dad!" No. I'm so hyped. Good
So-
luck.
August. I'm starting to write down all the NPCs from the
Do
characters.
that's probably smart.
Perfect. I gotta go piss. I'll be right back.
Okay. I will say though, Caitlin, you know, Homeboy is the demon of slaughter. Good luck.
Yeah, yeah.
And y'all are on his bad side right now.
Listen. Ellen will suck his dick if he has to. It's fine.
Listen, you got him and the mother upset. Listen. They've made some allies.
That's
They've
fine.
made many allies.
They've also made a couple
A couple of enemies. Listen.
How do I? What? Custom.
It's so good though. I'm so excited. I'm fucking hyped.
Phase. Bro, I really like this sword. It's so cool.
Dude, we gotta save Beth. We got it.
You got it. At this point. I will be upset if you guys don't. Like, I feel like it works too perfectly.
Exactly.
All right, piss babies, I'm back.
This is so.
The fuck did you call it?
great.
Called you guys piss babies.
That's rude.
Guys, kitten's back.
Daddy's home.
Your kitten. What do you mean? Look at your Discord name. Your Discord name early? Come on.
Well,
You know.
in this server, I'm Lord DM August, so I'm Dad in this server and Kitten in the other server.
Damn.
Okay.
He kind of got me there.
I
He
should-
kind of got me there.
What I'm hearing is I'll have to join that.
I can be your angle or your devil.
Oh my god. Can y'all just keep playing D&D? That was awful.
All right. Are we ready to continue?
Yep.
Is everyone back?
Yes.
I think everyone is back. Yeah. All right. Let's continue. All right. You all go back to the town of Luman, and as you guys arrive back in town, we're gonna go down the list again. Well, we're going to start off with Aliceman. Aliceman. Oh wait, shit! I totally forgot. Aliceman is supposed to be with Dusk for the day, so we're gonna retcon Aliceman going with Elwyn, because Aliceman needs to stick with Dusk for the rest of the day. So Aliceman, you are not in Lumen. I fucking lied because I don't even remember the own plot to my story. You are in the Anvil with Dusk. Aliceman, as you are walking through the halls, Dusk leads you to their quarters, and the doors open up, and you can see there's a very large sofa and table, and Dusk kind of just like gestures for you to sit on it.
Hey, I sit down.
Dusk sits at the table and says, sorry that I'm depriving you of the others today, but I need to make sure that you're safe for tomorrow. The entire voyage kind of rests on you, so I can't have
It's
any...
alright, I don't like it that much anyway.
Really? Dusk says, looking a little shocked at this. Well, I guess that's kind of understandable. They did kind of force you to come with them, but I guess it's more my fault than their fault. Anything you need? Food? Water?
No, not right now.
Right, Dusk says. And then they awkwardly look like they want to continue the conversation, but they just kind of sit down and just like open one of their journals they've been writing in, and they just begin to write. Aliceman, is there anything you wish to do in the room?
Can I like snoop around?
Mm-hmm. Make me a perception check. So that'll be a D20 plus or minus your wisdom modifier.
17.
17. Well, since this is an office of a Dragon Fang, there's a lot of very expensive looking things in here. There's like a bust carved what looks like to be some kind of Valterian noble. There are all types of expensive looking books. There's a very nice necklace kind of hanging off the side of the table. And on Dusk's actual table, you can see a couple gold coins. But it's mainly just stacks and stacks of paper and journals and like tons of writing instruments and implements that they've been using.
Aliceman is like physically restraining himself from stealing the money.
Dusk looks up and just goes, are you okay, Aliceman? You look a little stiff.
Yeah, I'm great.
Right. Well, if you want to go on a walk or something to the castle, you can. Plenty of guards to make sure nothing happens to you.
Alright.
Aliceman, you get up and you bring Truffle along. And as you're walking out, Aliceman, you look back and you can see Dusk's open journal a little bit, and you can just see there are tons of scrawlings, what appears to be revolving around some sort of door. You just see an illustration of a door and then some writing, and the only word that you can really read as you're exiting is the word purgatory. All right, Aliceman, where do you wish to walk in the castle? What sounds like a fun place to go?
They have like a ballroom.
There is a ballroom. If you want to go to the
I wanna
ballroom.
Go there.
All right.
I want to go to the coat closet and steal money.
Aliceman, this little fey man, and you know this just like this little guy with his big ram is just kind of like walking through this very large Gothic Valterian castle, and you can see there's guards walking by and they're just kind of shooting looks at you. You can see that there are Valterian elites just like standing silently. And as you're walking, Aliceman, you accidentally turn the corner and you bump into something leathery, and you kind of back up for a second, and you look up, and you're a little shocked as you see one of the Valterian Ascended just kind of turn back and look at you with these like really bright, burning purple eyes before they just silently turn back and kind of like ruffle their wings a little bit before they continue to walk down the hallway.
Rude.
Aliceman, you finally find the ballroom, and it is completely empty as you enter, and there's this large, beautiful chandelier hanging high above. It is you know, think like Beauty and the Beast. It's just like this massive, beautiful chandelier. And there are these massive purple and black drapes along the walls and these large windows overlooking the rest of the city of Darvox. And it's still about midday, so the sun's shining through. Just beautiful. Anything you wish to do?
Coat closet. Just in case someone left theirs there.
You find a coat closet, and you can see there are multiple dresses and suits inside. And you begin to ruffle through, and you find 3 gold coins. Aliceman, as you are pocketing the gold coins, you hear chewing behind you, and you turn around and you see Truffles beginning to chew on one of the suits.
He rips it out of his mouth.
Bah! Bah!
Can't do that. We'll get caught.
Bah! Bah!
Oh my.
Truffle turns around and begins to walk into the middle of the room. And Aliceman, as you're following him, you just hear a voice and says, "Are you having fun exploring the grounds?" Aliceman, you look over to see Ollania just kind of leaning against the door frame. Truffle looks over and just goes, "Bah?"
Yep, I wasn't doing anything that I wasn't supposed to or anything.
Ollania just kind of chuckles to herself, and she, like, you know, she stands up straight and walks over to you and says, "Don't worry, I robbed a lot of people when I was younger too." Actually, how old are you?
25.
At this, Ollania just goes, "Well, never mind. Guess I'm the younger one after all." Ollania just kind of stares at Truffle for a second and just says, "Anyways, as I was saying, when I was younger, I stole a lot too, so don't feel bad about picking a couple coins out of Valterian pockets. We've got plenty of money."
All right. Just don't tell Dusk, please.
I don't think Dusk is gonna care, frankly. Feoris may. Filthy bastard, she says. Ollania, like, her face, like, falls a little bit, and then she goes, "Right, sorry. Anyways, Aliceman, was it, are you excited to go back to Arcania?"
Not particularly. If anyone recognizes me there, it's kind of like I'm the one who brought Valterians to where we're like closed off from the rest of the world, so not gonna be great.
I mean, bringing Valterians isn't a bad thing, Ollania says. I mean, we could give them lots of help, probably. I mean, they've been sealed off from the rest of the world for so long, they could probably use the support.
But if they want to be sealed away, they probably don't want support.
Oh yeah. I guess you're right about that, but I mean, the final goal of Valteria is to unite all of Otax, and so I guess we have to do things that we may not want to do, Ollania says. Sorry, I'm getting a little too depressed. I think I've been around Mallory and Dusk too much. Anyways, I see that you got your little ram all nice and spiffied. She goes in and she pats Truffle's head. Yeah. Did you go to, that really creepy, pokey, nosy girl, Wendy?
Yep.
She's nice, Ollania says. A little too nice. She kept asking me about my horns. It was really uncomfortable. Anyways, Ollania says, I should leave you. I'm going to be leaving tomorrow as well, so. Ollania turns around and begins to walk for the door, and she turns back and she says, I know that you may not like our kind, Aliceman, and you don't have a lot of right to like us. We did forcefully take you away and force you into this position, but Ollania looks down. I have a lot of faith in Valteria. They're the only people that ever treated me like a human or a person. And I know that Valteria may not do the greatest things, but I believe in the cause, and that's why I'm a Dragon Fang. And I know that we may seem cruel or monsters from the outside, but we mean well. Even people as cruel as Mallory or Feoris. I know that they may seem evil, but I've known Mallory for so long I have to put some amount of trust into him, right? Ollania says. Just try to give us a second chance, Alispin. That's all I'm asking. Valteria isn't as bad as you think it is.
Okay.
Ollania nods and she says, right, I'll leave you. And Ollania leaves. Aliceman, would you like for that to be the end of your turn?
Sure.
All right. Aliceman, you go back to Dusk's office. Now we're going to go to Beck.
Hello.
Beck, you and Elwyn get back to the town of Luman. And as you guys get out and head back for your home, you can see, to you guys' surprise, Lena and Moon talking to Tova. I mixed their names together. Tova and Kathleen. You can see that they have smiles on their face. They look like they are having a good conversation. And as the two of you walk up, or I guess the three of you, because Ekrai is also there. As the three of you walk up, you can see Tova looks over and she waves. And Lena looks over, and she looks a little concerned for a second. Moon looks at Beck and then immediately goes red and like hides behind Ivar. Lena walks up to you all and says, "Hey, where's Aliceman?"
He's with Dusk.
Lena looks a little concerned and says, "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?"
Trust me, he's perfectly safe. I talked to Dusk myself. We'll see him in the morning.
Right, Lena says. Sorry that me and Moon went out on you guys so fast 2 days ago. Moon, get over here. Stop hiding. Moon just kind of like waddles out, and then she just kind of like with her head down walks over to stand next to Lena. Right, okay. Well, sorry that we left you guys so fast, but we had to contact Lorelei and the others back at Fenrol. So it's a long process, but we just had to keep her updated on what is happening. I know you guys understand.
Yeah, you're all good. We're supposed to be leaving tomorrow. Are you going to be coming with us as well?
Yes, we are. Again, we are sworn to protect Aliceman. At least that's what the World Tree says. And deal with Luneth. That being said, Elwyn, Ekrai, Beck, would it be possible if I could talk to you three in private? No offense, Tova and Ivar, but this is private information I think they should only hear. Tova and Ivar nod and they both walk inside. Alright. As you guys know, I was a little troubled when we first met Luneth back in Fenrol. Back where you guys got the amber fruit. Mainly because I hadn't seen another demon that used beasts in such a way. I talked to Lorelei about it, and she conversed with the World Tree, and it appears that my worst suspicion was true. Luneth doesn't just have her power to control beasts for any reason. She, I guess, a while ago, not even that long ago, she was once a guardian of the forest, same as me and Moon, but something happened. Lorelei said it was before her time in the forest, which, granted, was pretty recent, but
It still means that you guys would know a little bit more about her.
It means that Luneth has a corrupt ability to twist nature to her will. I don't really know how it works. I don't really know how any demon magic works, but those beasts are just probably one of the many things she can do. I tried to get Lorelei to get more information out of the World Tree, but it was silent. Simply said that Luneth was once one of us, but she's not anymore. So I guess that's why the World Tree sent us to go get her. Guess it's a way of bringing justice about, Lena says.
Well, you're more than welcome to join us.
Yeah, also, Lena kind of stops for a second. The World Tree mentioned something about when me and Moon arrive in Arcania, it's going to change something in the way that Enta is in Otax. You see, Fae and Nymphs are both races of Enta, god of the wilds, but our species haven't seen each other since the Age of Legends. If Alisman successfully gets us to Arcania, and we successfully meet the rest of the Fae, Lena looks at Moon, that'll be the first time since the war that Nymphs and Fae have talked. And the World Tree said that, well, it'll be an interesting moment.
Well, I'm sure that things will be resolved.
I'm sure it will too. Anyways, we should get ready to head out tomorrow. Elwyn, if you could come with me, I need to show you a few things that I think will help you out with your demon parent. I asked Lorelei what she knew about the other demons, so I may have picked up a trick for you to do against him. That being said, Lena looks over at Beck. I don't think Beck would probably want to see it. It may trigger something. Moon, you should go with Beck. At this, Moon just goes, huh? Well, look, we're going up against demons, and Elwyn's demon father is Dianar, and Lorelei said that I may have something that could help Elwyn with his father, but don't want Beck to go because it may traumatize him. So I'm asking you to stay with Beck while I go with Elwyn to show him what I've learned. Moon looks over at Beck, and then she looks over at Lena, and then she looks back at Beck, and then she looks over at Lena, and she just nods and goes, oh, okay. Right. Elwyn, if you could follow me, please.
Elwyn's gonna nod and follow her, and then pat Beck on the back and say, "Go get him, Tiger."
Beck is just like physically, he just looks so confused.
Okay, wait, Lee, I need to ask: is Beck canonically a virgin?
There's no way that man has had sex before.
Is Beck a virgin? We need to know, Lee. We need to know.
Oh no, can Lee not talk?
Oh no, did Lee cut out at the perfect... No!
Motherfucker. Hold on.
We can hear you now.
Information. Come on.
I joined my phone real quick. Well, think about it. So, Beck got attacked. Beck was, wheelchair bound for most of his childhood and started working for Valterio when he was, 13.
Oh, he's a widow virgin!
Yeah.
Oh. Alright. Moon just kind of, stands next to you, Beck, and she's just, looking down, as Lena leads you, Elwyn, off into the forest. We'll do Elwyn and Lena first, because I think the Moon and Beck thing's gonna be way cuter.
Oh, yeah. Two virgins hanging out.
Oh man, it's time for it's time for Lee's second Otax wife.
Yes.
All right.
My second Otax wife, bro. I'm getting all the bitches. I got an Otax husband. I'm gonna get 2 Otax wives. I'm just absolute cock and vagina.
Just swimming.
Goddamn, I'll mute myself.
Okay. Elwyn, you follow Lena into the woods. And she turns around to look at you, and she says, all right, I know it's a bit of a touchy question, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but you haven't unlocked your infernal art yet, correct?
No, I haven't.
Again, this may be kind of a touchy question, but do you know how to unlock it?
I've had ideas, but I don't 100% know.
Right. Well, the thing that Lorelai told me is Dianar is he's a coward. In all reports, he's been described as skulking. He wants other people to get the job done for him. He's like a predator waiting to pounce when his enemy is least suspecting of it.
He's a bit. Got it.
Yeah, he's a bitch. I mean, go figure. Evil demon and a bitch kind of go in the same sentence.
Yeah, they kind of go hand in hand for that one.
That being said, Lorelai brought up an interesting point that we could use that to our advantage. You see, you don't have your infernal art yet, which could make it a little bit harder, but I think it could still work. It appears that Dianar waits for the perfect moment for someone to strike, right? So,
Yeah.
an interesting thing to know about Dianar is those eyes and that hood aren't just for show. It appears that Dianar has gained as much power as he has because he absorbs people, and those eyes are a reflection of how much power he's gained. So,
You're not going to tell me I have to pick balls out, right?
I'm telling you may have to pick the eyeballs out. But there may be a really efficient way we can do it. Since Dianar, the music stopped, I'll cue it as I'm talking. Since Dianar is a little pussy bitch, we can simply make him think he has an opening. And when that time comes, Lena goes ahead and pulls something out of her pockets. Lorelai sent me this. She has a jar of what looks like to be silver powder.
Okay.
This is silver shard dust. It's ground from a rock in the deep woods of Fenral. It is highly potent and can make anyone go blind.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm talking about like the smallest bit can make you go blind. It is extremely extremely potent. Yeah, it's really fucked up, but Dianar is really fucked up.
Yeah. So
If-
what I'm hearing, blind the bastard.
Yeah. If we can trick him into thinking that he has the upper hand on us, if we can use his cowardice to our advantage and get him in a position where he thinks he's going to win, all it would take is for one of us to throw this bottle into that gross eyeball-filled hood of his, and boom, he is completely blinded, all those eyes are useless, and Dianar is basically taken out of the picture.
Okay.
Because, unfortunately, I don't know what binds Dianar to this world yet. Every demon has something that's binding them here, and while I assume Luneth's is her mission, Sabrina's I don't know, and Dianar's I don't know, and I don't know if we have time to figure out what binds them here. So the next best thing we can do is just completely disable their power. Get them out of the picture that way.
Okay.
Now then.
I like the thinking.
Now then, Lena goes ahead and hands you the bottle, Elwyn. This is the only bottle we have, so if we lose it, plan doesn't go off. But if we're able to save it, for the moment that is right, we can probably just take one of the demons out of the picture completely. Not banishing them, just severely hindering them. So, what do you think?
I like that idea. Again, we're up against unfortunately, very powerful demons, whether we like to admit it or not. And considering he has done horrible things to not only unknown people, but he's done horrible things to Beck and his family. So the best bet would be take him out.
It's not going to be easy. Obviously, he's a coward and he's a snake, but he's still a powerful, powerful demon. He's, I say we can get the upper hand on him, but I have a feeling it's going to be harder said than done. Or it's going to be easier said than done.
Unless at some point, if the opportunity arises, he thinks that I'm joining him.
That could work, although I would be careful around that. Tieflings agreeing to work with their parents can lead to unwanted results.
Yes, but if it's a good chance to knock at least one of them off of the playing field.
It's worth it. It's worth the risk, in my opinion. We just have to wait for the right time, and then we can get Dianar out of the picture.
Okay.
Right.
So I have kind of a personal question for you.
Sure.
So I'm not an idiot, unlike some human boys I know. So Moon has a whole thing for Beck, correct? Like I'm not blind. That's the thing.
Lena smiles, and she kind of looks off to the side. My little sister has always been quiet, let's say. She didn't really leave the forest much until now. She's a very sweet girl. A little too sweet, if you ask me. She's supposed to be the next in line to be a guardian of the forest, and, well, she doesn't have quite as much bite as I would like yet, but yeah, she may have a little thing for him. Honestly, if you ask me, I don't really see it, but I also don't like men, Lena says, and she shrugs.
That's fair.
But...
You know,
Oh, go ahead.
I think it's gonna be a hard time getting at least Beck to notice it. Because, again, I knew him when he was very, very small. He's always been a little clueless when it comes to anything that involves.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that when we were in Thenral. He's a little blunt, but he seems like he has a good heart for a Valterian.
Oh yeah, deep down he was a really cute kid, and his mom raised him real well. But he's kind of slow when it comes to the whole romance aspect of things.
Look, the last time I was in a relationship with a man, it did not go well, so I hope my sister's making the right choice, but if you ask me, not really my thing, Lena says.
That's fair. Well, don't worry. If you need me to, I'll kick his ass.
Oh, don't worry. I'll kick his ass really hard if he says anything to my sister. Don't you worry, Lena says, and she kind of like punches you on the shoulder. Come on, let's head back.
All right.
While this is all happening, at the exact same time, Beck...
To the virgins.
Beck, you are just kind of standing there, and Moon is standing next to you, and she's just like silent and she's looking down.
Are you okay?
She just goes, "Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?"
I'm fine. Are you sick? You're really red. And Beck's gonna like, cause oh my god, he doesn't have, because he has metal arms. He's just gonna grab her head and put it against his forehead to like feel her temperature.
You do this, and she just goes, "Eep!" She just kind of like, she just kind of backs away and she says, no, I'm fine. It's just a little hot, you know, Aetherfall. Really, really hot climates. Very tropical here. For those of you that don't know, Aetherfall is very tundra and cold.
Sure.
Yeah, Moon's just kind of like looking everywhere except Beck right now. So, you like being a Valterian?
Sure. I'm glad to fight for my country and the people in it.
Moon just kind of looks at you and she just says, yeah, I'm also trying to be a warrior for my people. Next Guardian of the Forest, she says, and she kind of points to the tattoo on her neck. You see that it's the same as the glowing green tattoo on Lena's arm. Lena's is a bear. Moon, it looks like it's half completed, but it looks like it's being turned into like a hawk.
Cool. I guess I can kind of understand. Like, I bet you feel like you're under a lot of pressure. I recently got promoted to a lieutenant, and it's different.
What's a lieutenant?
So I guess I'm third from the bottom.
Bottom of what?
Oh man, the like ranking. So soldiers are at the bottom. The dragon fangs are at the top.
Huh. Moon says, you rank each other's worth off of, like, titles?
No, I don't think it's about worth. It's about like how useful you are to the Valterian Empire.
Right. Sorry, that may have come off a little rude. Sorry. Well, that's cool. There's just Guardian for us. Just, not Guardian and then Guardian. I guess our ranking would be not a Guardian, a Guardian, and then Archdruid. The Archdruid's Lorelei, if you remember her. She's really nice.
I think I remember her, yeah.
Yeah, she helped raise me with Lena. Anyways, and as you guys are talking, Beck, you hear meow.
Wait, what was that?
Meow. Meow.
Oh shit!
Beck, you look down to see a little tabby cat walking up to you, and Moon just goes, "Kitty!" And she walks over and she says, "Is that your cat?"
Yeah. Hold on, I'm actually trying to look for the fucking name of this goddamn cat. Okay. Yeah, it's my cat Loki.
Loki, can I? Does he like to be picked up?
Yeah, he's super nice.
Moon goes ahead and picks up Loki and just like cradles him in her arms, and she just kind of giggles to herself and like boops his nose, and you can see that he's trying to like swat at the leaves in her hair, and she just goes, "No, those are my leaves. Stop doing that." She like.
I also have a dog.
You have a dog?
Yeah.
Can I
His
see?
name's Aska.
Can I see the dog?
Yeah. Beck's gonna like take her to like the back porch. The dog stays over there.
You lead Moon over to see the dog. What does the dog look? Oh yeah, I guess I do. The dog. It's let's say it's a German Shepherd. And it's got these bright blue eyes. And Asuka turns around, kind of bounds over to you, Beck, and just goes.
Yeah, Beck's just gonna like smush the dog's face, like just I don't how to like rubbing the dog's face, like smushing.
Moon just goes, "Oh, she's so cute," and then she starts petting him as well, and she says, "Oh, you're such a good little boy," and she's like petting his head. And then the cat kind of walks over and like purrs and like rubs his head against Moon's arm, and then she like opens her arm so he can sit in her lap. And then Moon looks up at you, Beck, and she just goes, "I didn't know you had so many animals. This is great. I didn't really take you for an animal family."
Well, Asuka has been my, I guess, companion since my childhood. So she's definitely gotten me through some hard times, and the cat is my sister Kara's.
Aww. Moon says that she's just like petting both the animals. That's cute. I never had a pet growing up, but I guess I'll have a pet soon, she says, once this tattoo's finished.
You can only get a pet if you get a tattoo?
Well, Moon kind of looks off. I don't really understand it, but my race, the nymphs, we have, well, I guess they're more birthmarks, but we just call them tattoos for, clarity's sake. You see, when a nymph is born, they start off with a small green birthmark somewhere on their body. And as they get older, the birthmark turns into this, she says. And once they finally reach a certain age, the tattoo will be fully complete, and then we can summon upon our animal companion, she says. Lena already has hers. She got hers a few years ago. The large bear that you saw. That's her companion. Its name is Born. Or Bjorn, as she always corrects me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. To be quite frank with you, I don't really know how it works. It's something to do with Enta's magic, but yeah. And she just kind of is rubbing the tattoo on the side of her neck. Lena says it's going to be ready real soon, but I honestly doubt that.
At what age does it normally fully, I don't know, form?
20. I'm 19 now. Almost 20. We'll be in a few months.
Hey, I'm 19 too.
Oh, she says, and she goes a little red. That's super cool. But yeah, I guess humans don't have weird birthmarks that give them powers or anything, right?
No, but I do have a shit ton of scars.
Moon mutters under her breath, "That's hot."
Beck is gonna go, what was that?
Nothing. It'll be cool, but I don't really know, Lena's like, you gotta name it, and, like, it's an extension of yourself, so, like, you have to treat it well, because if you don't treat it well, then you're not treating yourself well, and she said that if the animal is, like, killed, then, like, it could, like, knock you out, and, like, all this really scary stuff, and it's just, like, it's just, like, a lot to think about. Sorry, I didn't mean to ramble. I just, yeah. Beck! Beck, please.
Huh?
Beck.
Oh, are you gonna say anything?
Well, well, Beck pretty much just says, oh yeah, that's pretty scary. I understand being worried about shit like that.
Yeah, sorry to ramble. I'm just a little stressed out is all. That's why I was so red earlier, she says.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But you don't need to feel bad for talking, like, it doesn't bother me.
She, like, goes a little red at this, and she looks down and she says, "Thanks, Beck. I appreciate that." She goes
Beck
at
just smiles at her.
She goes and, like, looks down again, and she, like, smiles to herself, and then she stands up and says, "Right. I'm gonna go find Lena. I'll see you tomorrow?"
Oh, yeah.
Okay, bye, Beck. And then she turns around and just immediately starts to walk as fast as possible away from you.
Beck is just fucking clueless.
He's like, huh?
Elwyn, you and Lena are walking back from the forest, and you guys can see Moon walking up, and she looks really red in the face. She walks up to Lena, and she just goes, "Hi." And Lena just goes, "Are you okay?" Moon just nods, and she says, I'm okay." Lena shoots you a look, Elwyn.
Ellen's gonna smirk back at her.
Moon just goes, "What?" And Lena just goes, "Oh, it's nothing, little sis. Just, go back inside and get ready. we're gonna have to go to bed early tonight because big day tomorrow. Moon nods and she just walks to the house. And Lena's just kind of standing next to Elwyn, cross-armed, and she says, "Look, Elwyn, I don't know what's going to happen over the next few weeks, but from what the World Tree has told me, it's going to be not an easy time. So I guess I'm just trying to mentally prepare for the worst."
Ellen's just gonna nod and say, "Listen, no one wanted any of this to happen. Believe me, but we're in this together now. If you need anything, you can always ask me. I'm gonna have to keep Beck alive for his family's sake, anyways. So, if you or Moon need anything, just let me know."
Lena looks over at you and she just nods and she says, "You're a good man, Elwyn. Can't say that for most men."
Well, thank you. I mean, I do owe you for healing me from that attack the other. Well, what was it? A couple weeks ago now.
It was nothing. I just doing my duty as a guardian, Lena says. Anyways,
Well,
still don't feel great about working with Valtarians, but if it's what the World Tree asks, then I have to do what the World Tree says, she says.
who knows? Maybe this will all work out for everybody, and everyone just gets to go home safe.
You know, that's what you can hope for, but from what I've seen in OTAX, it's never nearly that simple.
Oh no, never. But between you and me, I put a little trust into Dusk. I hung out with him a little bit today. And from what I saw...
Elwyn, you're cutting out!
No!
Shout into that microphone.
Shout into the microphone. I would put a little faith into Dusk. I know that they're a dragon thing, and they're kind of an asshole sometimes, but I saw what they could do today, and they gave me their word they're going to try to get this out. Not even use the kid. Because they feel bad even involving them, so I know that deep down they're a good person. So I wouldn't rip into them too hard during the travels.
Lena nods and just goes, "Right, I'll lay off Dusk a little bit. They seem fine, but..."
Though I say you can bully Beck as much as you want. It's fun.
I think Beck needs some time off. Anyways, I'll try to put some faith into some faith into Dusk, but I don't know. Lena says as she kind of looks forward. 2 years ago, the Dragon Fang Feoris came to the forest and burned down half of it for what he wanted. And he killed someone close to me. I know Dusk isn't Feoris, but they're still part of the same dragon, she says. And she walks forward into the house.
Elwyn's gonna say going in as well.
As you all enter, you can see Tova and Kathleen are working away and making food as everyone's gathered around the table. And Ivar says, "Oh, good you're both back. Come, both of you sit down. This will be the last dinner we have for quite a while together." You can see that everyone's started to take their seats. There's a little bit more space open since Aliceman is currently not here. And you can see Moon, squeamishly sits next to Beck. And the food is rolled out, and everyone begins to eat. And Ivar looks at you and says, "So, how was everyone's day today?" Elwyn?
Eventful.
Oh, good. Good. What about you, Lena and Moon? Lena and Moon both nod and says, "It was great. It was good." "How about you, son?" And Ivar, pounds on Beck's back.
Beck just goes, you just hear, and he's just gonna go, "It's fine."
Good. Good, good, good. Well, we've made quite a feast for you all since you're all going to be gone for quite a while starting tomorrow. And just want to say, alright, now, me, got some sailor knowledge, alright? So, and Tova sighs and she goes, "He's going to start talking about sailor knots again. All right, so here's the deal with sailor knots. and
I love Dad.
and you guys start to eat your dinner as Ivar begins to rant. You can see the kids at the table are like starting to fall asleep. And Tova gets up and she says, "I'm gonna take the kids to bed. Rest of you finish up." And she takes the kids upstairs to put them to bed. So the rest of you talk. Lena turns to you all and says, "Okay, on a serious note, how are we all feeling? Good? Bad?"
Worried, but we're gonna push through.
Demons are nasty sons of bitches. So just stick together. Don't let them separate us again. And I think we'll be fine, Lena says. Alright, we're going to do one last little round of roleplay before we go into the next day. Do any of you want to do anything?
Elwin's gonna ask us what we got at the door.
Elwin, you're cutting out.
Oh no! Elwin was is gonna look over to Beck and say, "So, how was your shopping spree?"
It was fine.
What'd you get?
Potions, just a sword.
Well, I'm sure that'll come in handy. But I've heard we saw Alex off with me this morning.
Sorry, I cannot understand
Oh
you.
no! Of course, my connection does.
The connection
Right
is
now.
betraying you.
Why? Alright, how about now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Well, just because Alisman and I saw. I didn't catch up, so I just-
Okay,
Oh,
Caitlin.
no!
I'm so sorry. It keeps cutting out.
No!
Maybe try leaving and rejoining the call. Maybe that'll fix it. Yeah, let's try that. That always works, right, guys? God
Yeah.
damn online D&D.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I saw a different side of Dusk today. And I took them a little understand why you put your trust into them. Can you not? Oh!
Just type it in the Discord, Caitlin. Just type it in the Discord. Just type it in the chat and then just have Beck read it.
You,
Oh, no.
I can understand everything you say except for the parts that I don't know. Like, you keep repeating the same thing, and the only part that I've heard is the one that I can hear.
Okay, hold on. Here, I'm gonna try putting my headphones on. That helps.
Okay.
Okay.
I love online D&D. It's never flawed at all, ever.
Never.
Always goes super smooth. There's never technical difficulties during emotional moments. It's fine.
No, never. Well.
But it's just some lightheartedness, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. It's the Otax charm.
It's the Odex. Alright. Well, I trust Dusk a little bit more now. I saw a different side of them today. I just hope that the kids stay safe and everyone gets to come home.
Yeah. Me too.
Lena
Can I
just...
talk to you for a second? You know, in private, without everybody here.
Lena
Yeah,
just like
sure.
sighs and is just like, awkward. And then her and Moon are gonna get up and walk away. Same with Ekrai.
They're just slowly leaving. So, what's up your ass?
Nothing. I'm fine.
Come on. I know that I don't know you that well, but obviously you feel some type of way.
It's just every time I look at you, all I could see are all of those fucking eyes.
I get it. Believe me, I understand. And if I could be associated with that monster, I would. Fortunately, I just have to accept it. And I know it's probably hard. So, no matter what, I'm not going to let anything bad happen to the kid, to Ekrai or Allison. For you.
I know you're a good person, but I just need some time.
Okay, well, if you ever want to talk about it, let me know.
Yeah, I will.
Elwyn's gonna go and hang out with Ekrai for a little bit now.
Alright. Beck, as you move away, as you're walking back towards the house, you can hear what sounds like wood breaking in the backyard.
Oh. Shit. Okay, Beck's gonna put on his big boy panties and go see what it is.
Beck, as you enter into the backyard, you hear someone go, "Shh!" as you see a board of wood be broken, and you can see your mom just kind of like standing in the backyard, and she's kind of taking like a deep breath. She's just like, before she like gets into a fighting stance again, and then she kicks another board clean in half with her foot. She does like a roundhouse kick.
Mom?
Tova like goes, "What?" And she turns around and she says, "Beck, hey."
What are you up to?
She just kind of looks behind her and she says, I'm just blowing off some steam, son."
Are you okay?
I'm fine," she says. "I'm just, I don't know, I'm just worried," she says.
You wanna talk about it?
Sure. She takes off her like cloth wrapping she has around her hands, and she sits next to you, Beck, and she says, "Look, Beck, I know you're a strong kid. I taught you everything I knew, and the Valterians taught you everything that they knew, but I just worry for you. And the others seem like sweet kids. Just don't want you all to get caught up in something that you're not prepared for."
I know you're worried and scared about me, but I always return home. And I know it's scary seeing me go again, especially because we now know what I have to face. But it's gonna be okay. You need to worry about Rune and Kara and Osmi. Because I'm gonna be gone, you need to be here for them. You can't just continue to worry about me like you did.
Tova nods and she says, "You're right, son. You were always the confident, selfless one. And that's why I'm proud of you. You know, your little siblings are starting to get old enough to learn how to fight," Tova says. I still remember when I put you through my training regiments," she says.
Yep. Fun. Kara's gonna love that.
Oh, they'll be fine. Besides, Dad will be there to make sure that I don't go a little too crazy, but he does say he's scared of me a lot, which is granted.
I think he's mainly doing it to fuck with you.
Well, one of us was a secret agent and the other one wasn't, so I think he's got a big shoes to fill, she says. Anyways,
Yeah.
Beck, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Just, yeah. Anyways, you should get some rest. You have to get up early tomorrow.
Okay, Mom.
I love you, son.
I love you too.
Everyone starts to go to bed. And as night turns to day, the first sign of the sun rises above. And you all get onto the carriage and head off to Darvox, waving goodbye to Kathleen and Beck's family. As the carriage rolls off, Beck, your mom gives you a knowing nod, and you return the favor with your own nod. And Kathleen just goes, "Goodbye, my son! Be safe out there!"
I'll be home soon, Mama.
Very good, and don't you dare bring home any children.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Ah, that boy, I swear to God, he's such a swoon. As you all head off into the city, you all arrive at the docks. And you can see Dusk with Alisman and Truffle with 2 black galleons bobbing in the water and a large amount of Valterians manning and loading up the ship. As you guys approach, Dusk nods at you all and says, "Right, we're going to be on this ship." They point to the left one. "Go ahead and load up." As you all get onto the ship, Dusk goes ahead and stops you for a second, Beck, and turns to you and says, "How are you feeling?"
Scared, but I'll be fine.
You're going to be the second highest ranking officer on this mission, which means that when I'm not around, what you say goes. But I feel like I can put my trust into you for that.
Thank you, Dusk.
Right. Lieutenant, go ahead and get on that ship.
Beck is gonna salute and go on the ship.
As you get onto the ship, Beck, I wish Ekrai was here. This would have been such a good moment, but I'll just do it kind of haphazardly. As you guys are going onto the ship, Dusk looks over and says, "Come to see us off?" And you guys see as Ollania walks up to you all. She's also flanked by Valterian elites, and she just kind of smiles and nods. "Yeah, going on another grand adventure again, Dusk, and you're not bringing me again." Dusk just kind of shrugs and says, "Well, you're always too busy off in Durandar. Besides, once this war is over, we can go on another great quest, like you, me, and Vanessa did back then." Ollania nods. "I'd like that. Anyways, you all stay safe out there," Ollania says, and she looks over at Alisman, and she kind of gives you like a knowing look. "Be safe out there, guys. I hope that you all return safely." Yeah. Dusk kind of walks up, and they put their hand on Ollania's shoulder. "We'll keep in touch. And if you see any sign of your parents, let us know." "Same to you," Ollania says. "I have more of a reason she'll be pursuing you guys than me, but you can never tell with demons." Dusk kind of stands there for a second, and Ollania kind of looks at them, and she just goes, "You good, Dusk?" And Dusk just like hugs Ollania, and Ollania just goes, "You'll be fine, Dusk. I'll see you again." Dusk nods. "It's just the last time we all split up like this and all went to different parts of Otax, one of us didn't come back." Ollania looks a little pained at this, and she looks down and says, "Yeah. I miss her, Dusk. I miss her a lot." Dusk nods. "I miss her too. Ollania. But I think Vanessa would be proud of what we're doing. Ollania sighs and says, right, I've kept you all here for too long. Best be off. Dusk turns to you all and follows you all into the ship, and the two boats set sail as the banners fall, revealing the Valterian symbol, the golden dragon swallowing a sword, and the two ships drift off as Ollania looks at you all leaving, and she salutes to Dusk, and Dusk salutes back. And they walk over to all of you and walk over to Alisman and say, all right, Alisman. They hand you a map. What I'm going to need you to do is stand in the middle of that ship and concentrate. And I'll do the rest. And as the ships sail off away from the city of Darvox, we're going to end today's session on a cutscene. The scene opens up in a dark pirate city. This one is not like the others. It is covered in barnacles, dark seaweed, and it looks like half the docks are abandoned. You can see a couple rats with blue eyes shining as they're sniffing amongst the reeds and the grass. Well, it looks like they've abandoned this city, Sabrina says as she walks out of the darkness. I must say, it seems like such a good waste of a good civilization, she says, looking around. But, I guess the architecture is something less than to be desired, she says as she, touches one of the barnacle-encrusted homes. Stop messing around, Sabrina, Luneth says. Have you found anything of note? None. None at all. It appears that the kid is not here either. That's 2 cities that we've scouted, and Dianar just scouted the 3rd, and he says that he hasn't found anything. Doesn't make any sense. The other 2 pirate cities are under Valterian control. Shava and that kid should be in one of these cities. Where the hell are they? Luneth says, and you watch as her eyes burn a little bit brighter yellow. There, darling. We'll find them eventually. I'm very sure about it. Also, another thing. My scout rats back at Darvox have noted that Alisman, as well as the others, have made their way for the continent of Arcania. So, Lita, what is your next move? Luneth stands there cross-armed. I'm gonna contact Dianar. I'm gonna tell Dianar to keep scouting the cities, and I mean scout them. I want every single house, every single dock scouted until we find that tiefling and her mistake of a child, and so I can kill it and prove to Onyx that I am the strongest. Sabrina shrugs. Got big plans there, sister. But what about for us? We're heading to Arcania, Luneth says. We need to wait until the time is right, and we can kill the other child and take Alisman in one final swoop. Sabrina walks forward. You seem a little troubled, Luneth. Something the matter? Luneth looks back. Nothing's the matter. Seemed a little irked when you saw those 2 nymphs, I must say. Luneth looks back forward. It's not the nymphs that I'm pissed off about. Sabrina shrugs. I won't pry. Anyway, shall we be off? Luneth looks off to the side and says, someone's here. Oh, someone's here, Sabrina says as she looks over. Oh, could it be? It's been such a long time since we've seen you. Luneth walks forward and says, I don't know what you're doing here, traitor, so you better speak quickly. Malakarth appears from the shadows, and he says, Should have figured Onyx would pass the witch's flame to you, Luneth. Luneth stands there for a second, and she just kind of sneers. Yeah, should have been mine in the first place. Lillian wasted a bunch of time up here in Otax, and got absolutely nothing done but chase you and your pitiful little daughter around. And now I have to pick up her scraps, as per usual. Malakarth takes a step forward, and he just says, I'm going to tell you two what I told Dianar. I don't want demons in Edia anymore. I want you both out. Sabrina chuckles. You want us out, Malakarth? I don't think you're in any position to make demands. After all, you are a traitor of the underworld. Why, if Onik ever got his hands on you, he would absolutely tear you apart. Demake you like he demade Lillian. Malakarth sneers. Onik isn't going to be getting his hands on me anytime soon. I'm actually quite safe here. Luneth walks forward, and you see that she draws her sword and she ignites it with the green flames, and a hint of angry recognition sprouts across Malakarth's face. Where is your daughter, Malakarth? Malakarth looks puzzled at this. Why do you need to know? Because, Malakarth, your traitorous ways dive deeper than just disobeying Onyx's orders. You've gone and had a child. You weren't supposed to do that. You were not one of the demons designated to bear tiefling children. Malakarth kind of takes a step back. I don't follow the rules of the underworld anymore. I did what I did because I loved Vathri. Sabrina just kind of giggles to herself, and Luneth just looks even more angry. Love is going to do nothing but hurt you, Malakarth. Trust me, I've been there, Luneth says. Malakarth takes another step back. Why the hell do you want my daughter? Because, Malakarth, she's a mistake. She's not supposed to exist. Every tiefling created by the designated demons has done so they're all sterile and can't produce a single child. It would dilute the demon blood too much. But your daughter, she's apparently gone and had 2 kids, has she not? Malakarth kind of looks down a little bit. Yeah, I thought so. So, Malakarth, we can make this easy. You're either going to tell me where Shava is and that miserable little runt she birthed, or we're going to have a repeat of you and Lillian. I think I can make you go for round 2 with the witch's flame, don't you think? Malakarth looks up, and he pulls 4 giant flaming axes from his side, and he says, I'm not the same person I was back then. Luneth continues to look at him. You always were an annoying, overconfident asshole, Malakarth, Luneth says as she puts the blade down. But really, I have no desire to fight you right now. Luneth turns away. It's fine. You're not going to tell me where your daughter is. But I know damn well where the other child is. At this, Malakarth says, Azur. Yes, Azur. Being held by the Dragonfang Dusk and a bunch of miscreants. I know exactly where they're heading, and I know exactly where they'll be. So, don't tell me about Shava and the kid. I'll just go kill the other one first. And then once that's done, maybe I would have broken you hard enough to tell me where the others are. Malakarth speaks and he says, you know, for someone who hates Lillian so much, you sure as hell think like her a lot. And at this, Luneth's eyes burn an even brighter yellow, and she says, don't compare me to that failure. She wrongfully took my spot beside Onik. She wrongfully got the witch's flame. She was weak. A bunch of lessers finished her off. I'm not like Lillian. I'm much, much worse, Malakarth. Malakarth turns around and begins to walk away. And Luneth sheathes her sword. Had enough then, traitor. Malachar turns around. You can go and try to eliminate Azur all you like. You just gotta get there before I do, Malachar says, before he disappears in a giant ball of flames. Sabrina speaks. My, things are getting interesting indeed. First, we're sent to go kill some children and a mistakenly born tiefling. Then we're sent to go capture a fae that has the powers of Enta within his blood. And then we're told to open the gates to the underworld, and now we're contending with a traitor. Things are getting interesting, aren't they, Luneth? Luneth speaks. Oh, don't worry. He'll get his soon enough. The thing that's binding him here is that daughter. So once she's dead, he will go straight back to the underworld, and Onyx will deal with him. Sabrina obviously has her mask on, so it looks like she's always smiling, but she chuckles to herself. Right. Anyways, shall we be off? You know, he did say he was going to try and get there first, so... Luneth looks at Sabrina and says, yeah, let's go. And the two of them disappear, Sabrina into a pile of rats, and Luneth in a ball of green fire. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Malachar. No! No! Why? Every fucking session, bro.
There is no end.
Every single
alone.
it's just
Wait,
fuck
no.
Shava.
Is
The
this all?
session's over. Now I can share my big mommy milk Aria on it.
But
Oh my
Daddy's
God.
back. But Daddy's back. Daddy's back, and Daddy ain't taking shit.
Yes. Oh, and he's not happy, and I am so excited.
Also, I humbly request